How do we identify ourselves of who we are? How do we process anything of what we are? How do we get into configuration of who we are? How do we get into operation what we are doing in set locations? Our setting and position is all levels and how we use ourself inside. We're data processors of computers of ourselves. So we have to learn how to use the compute system to its program, its unit. Now you start with your chakras. Chakras gets you in that line communication system, but to understand your universe is to understand you in all line settings. So instead of seeing yourself as you see your computer, to understand you as a computer is to see, okay? Once you start to see these things, you become. Bear with me here. Seeing, becoming, you are, I am. This is a process that everybody has to come into step by step. And the only way you're going to understand yourself in any way and form is knowing how to use this and understand this and understand this and this, and all your senses combined is one set locations of setting. Just think about that for a second. How do I put this all together? How do I understand what that means? Well, you know how to use a computer. Now is the time to understand that you are your own computer setting of your own set location, right? So in that line communications, guys, you have to understand that you're all levels of what you are is what you become, is what I am. Okay, always find a way to see yourself moving forward. A running system runs its program. It doesn't have emotional interference. It doesn't have emotional track. If you download a program, if you download a movie or you download a file, okay, it runs smoothly without emotion. But as soon as you add emotion, it stops the program. It stops the movie. Or it's a burnt disk. Or if you're overloading, overdriving your system location to any that connection setting. Okay? So truly understanding you is how you operate your system inside. Now you start with your chakras, but we're going past that now. We're getting out of the spiritual realm. We're coming into the computer realm, a set location. How to use it through the compute system and how you, AI, use it. It always informs the set location. Okay? To know exactly what an algorithm is to understand you through a website of design. This is a box frame of a computer. It's what's inside that counts. Okay, so it's understanding the block and the channels, the proxy, the servers, the operation. Okay, the copy, the paste, the delete, the erase, the control, the panels, the opt, the navigation, the consoles, the flash drives. Okay, so once you understand everything inside, okay, is one proxy line of a T reception string. It's a graphing string. Now you can set it this way, 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 or this way. You can do it in any way and form in line calculation setting directions, but you're just files and files and files of information. Now, because we're coming into correlation setting, general is coming back into backdating options with you, right? Backdating server, okay? Sending that track to its communication system. Everybody has a compute system location of setting, okay? Once you understand how to use your 24 grounds, we're going to get into the basic ground lines because we're getting into structures now. You guys have to understand how to set up your formulas, equations through all settings. Okay? So we're going to start off with just the basic 24. So we got a 24 line signal. Change that location system, travels. That's a 24 signal, right? 24. Now 24 equals lines of triangulation resets, location line interference, 2-panel correlation set, and a location of a question mark. Okay, but it's not done yet. Question mark is based on backdating options. Okay. So it's kind of like an idolization to an idoltherium. That's what a question mark is. Backdating, right? So that's backdating. Okay. Backdating options, BDO. Okay. So we all have to understand how this all works. So backdating is going this way in position of file. File here instead of location of setting. Okay. Backdating options. Okay. Through a 24. Okay. So once you get in this setting, it's to understand how to see yourself through a file, through a cabinet. So when you get into line calculation setting, your ground lines is now on 24, okay, in clocking. Okay, clocking through space, through time, okay, puts position locations through pi. Okay, and then you go timestamps, time lock, time division. Space and time through pi, through clocking, right? Clocking through 24 lines, signature, string location of 3 sets. Okay, now that's how I see computer frame into a block channel of one proxy. One proxy. Okay. Now the opt system, your opt system locations goes forward, right? Opt, OPT, operation perceptions of time. Okay. Now, really understand how this all works. I just want you to understand how you set frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames, sun line, moon line, rotation, surface, triangulation. Okay. How it serves its application, your settings. See the pyramid? So there's all different ways to do these things. Okay, understand the structural locations. And then it gets complicated. Let's start with that frame. So when you opt system, you're taking things out of an equation. Okay, you're setting up defaults. You're setting up emblens. Emblem is basically connections to all level settings where it embeds its system. Enabled is basically turning the switch on. So try to understand what copy means. You're copying and pasting a link to another structure of design. Did you get it? Did you receive it? You got mail? Okay. Now, we're going to leave that in Signal, and then we're going to go into this application line settings and directions. Okay, so I'm going to show you how these things set up. Okay, so line communication line interference, all correlate high interference, 2 bracket lines of 0, 0, 0, 3, 0 location setting. Correlation line interference, position track line, 2 panels. Line condition levels of percent over lines of 0, 1. Set location setting, set location line center 0, 2. Setting track to its communication, graph line streams. Now you got a graph indicate add interference. Say initiate, execute line in EXE, calculation run, and position to relay. Okay, to program setting. Program setting, okay, opt, OPT, takes out frame, and sets position to computer frame, okay, and set locations, okay, to calculations to 1 proxy, okay, to 1 channel, okay, to 1 stream, okay, enter. Done by equation. Algorithm. So this creates a set location line setting to 1 line position location to 1 website. Okay? Very complicated stuff. I'm just showing you how to get you guys into your CP units. Okay? Now, I can add the frame and add the files, and you'll pick it up what this is through your frequencies, right? Set a correlation line interference, set the position of panels, initiate line run program location and proxy, channel line interference to the team position location to the frequency. There it is. You got the graph lines in position of panel. Okay, setting that direct signal, showing exactly where we start from the beginning. There's all different ways to structure designs. Okay, so we use the 24 line setting is a clock. So we understand the clocking system, okay, of space and time. Okay, clocking system is space and time. Now, we opt the system. We have to opt the system because we're changing platforms. Setting position location to one default. That one signals as line communications into levels. Correlates high center crosses signals to one frame and direction. Okay. I like to travel through recognition timelines, but there's so many different ways to set up formulas, equations, guys, all through framing, right? One frame comes back in line rotations in position all levels. Default is change, changing directions, changing space, changing time in set location and setting direction. Okay. Powerful stuff, isn't it? So in that indication, we all have to understand how this all works. So we go to 24. 24 equals clock. Okay. And then we go into 48. Now 48 is location to its box, which equals lines, 3-line communication of its window frame. 72 is the input and output of your computer frame. 144 set location is your connections to your line calculation setting to your home. That's home. Setting track location is the hippocampus. Now that's correlation in your memory bank. Your memory bank stores all levels of information to a setting. How to understand it through the computed system is all levels of through your operation locations. So it's really understanding what home is, right? You know what home is, right? You go back to the file. Like if you're on Netflix, press home, takes you back to the file registration. The movies, right? Home. Okay. I know you guys are blown away. So when that's set location, line center locations, you have to understand how to use it through indication, how to travel through line interference. So when you understand that, then you understand 144, okay, is all coordinated in a line communication setting to your CPU of a computed system location to its initiation of running a program to all set locations of coming back home. Okay? So when you come back home, what is that set location of? What is the hippocampus? It's the memory. It's the archive. It's your folders. It's your files. Okay? So once you understand what that means, then you understand what you are doing through backdating options, going forward, fast forward, rewind. So in that set location, pause, execute, initiate, copy, paste, link, upload, download, upgrade. So we all have to understand how to use it through a file because the file puts everything in its design location. So once you understand that, then you understand what the hippocampus means in set locations. All right. So you have your serotonin, which is in the center of communication. You got dopamines on 2 panels, correlation setting. So this frames its set location and setting lines in operation. Setting in that position track lines comes in all correlation setting, indirect set location to your cloud, which is above the system, right? Everybody knows what an iCloud is, eCloud is, right? Anything you need a cloud to get position and track line to communication setting to your computed system, what's put you in all line calculation setting. So you have to understand how to really understand to see yourself is muscle memory of your keyboards and how you actually see the panels of its operation system location, your system inside location, right? So once you understand what home means, you have a better understanding how to use it in all equation through its formula. Understand the 24 through clocking, through space and time, timestamp, edit, formulate, retrack, redivision, realign, readjust, refocus. 48 is a window, mainframe, window frame. 72 is basically the input and the output of its computer frame. 144 is your home. It's the hippocampus of your mainframe, which is hardwired in set location. So now we understand how this all works. Okay? Because it's just a command center. It's home. Okay? So when you put 24, 48, 72, and 144 together, you're automatically in a set location line system to nothing of a CP unit set location. your compute system to a program to a unit, okay, of travel. All right, so once you understand that, okay, you understand how it works in all lines of division. So I just showed you exactly how you come into formulas of equation through an algorithm. That is an algorithm. Okay. Now, once you understand what an algorithm is, you understand what a block center is. We understand locations. But your compute system is nothing but files and files of information that's stored in its hippocampus, which is its memory bank. Okay? So now you understand what home means. All right, great. So you go back to your files. So let's go again, line set and high position location track lines. There's home. Okay, so as soon as you press home, okay, click, right? All this shows up. Videos, 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 and files of movies and position locations. Brings you back home. Okay? It's pretty simple to understand that location setting. Now there's 6 tracks of locations in one box frame. Okay? So you click that and it brings in its file a set location of system of what it is through its information panel of operation, a set location. Okay? So it gets complicated because now you're understanding what this all means, how this works for you inside, how to understand the operating system, how to understand the compute system, how to understand the AI connections, how to understand and put letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols to its algorithm set location of its mainframe. Your hardwired mainframe. Okay? Understanding what copy is, understanding what reset is. Okay? Understanding when you get a reset, you get a reprogram. Read this, read that, read this, read that, right? So copy, and then you go into paste. Okay. And then you go embedded. Okay. And then you go enabled. And then you go into default. Okay. So it's understanding everything on a computer is for you to understand how to use it. All this is inside your connections. And much, much more. Okay. So you have to understand what set is. Reset, copy, realign, refocus, reanalyze, regenerate, remodify, recalculate. Okay. Paste, emblem, enabled, default. It's all set location in your system inside position location could be operation. Okay. Okay. Setting that position of track line is understanding clocking. Okay. Clocking is extremely important. You got 4 clock line rotations, 24, 48, 72, and 144. Okay. So you got a 24 line setting. You got a 48 window setting. You got a 72 computer frame, and you got a 144 equals lines of home in set location, which is hippocampus. Okay. 144 equals home. Okay. That's all it is. Nothing else, nothing more. Okay. So everything is in files and archives, and your library is here. Okay. So understanding the 24 clocking of your space and of your time sets location. 48 sets the window frame. 72 sets up the computer frame. And 144 sets up home. You put that together, you got a compute program of a unit set location ready to go, right through program settings and running programs, right? But that's all it is. Okay, how you see yourself. So in that communication setting, once you understand how to use the hippocampus, then you understand the correlation setting to the endorphins, focus on high positioned activity, line interference, streamline interference with initiate run programs. It's easy to understand how it processes because I don't create emotion when I'm running a program. You can't have emotional interference when you're running your system. Anything through execute, anything through initiation, anything through click, anything through enter, anything through frame. You are your set position locations and how you use yourself through motion. Taking out the emotion, bringing in the emotion is running the program. Mega, mega, mega pass. So what you have to do first is off the system, bring out the operation, okay, of what it perceives through perception, through its thoughts. Bring it back in its emotion. Run the program, initiate. Okay, enter. Okay, so that's how this all works inside Position Your Travels. It's exciting, isn't it? You're thinking, wow, this is amazing. I'm starting to understand what that means now. So you're staying that 24 is the clock lines of space and time through pi, and I can use that through location setting. And you're saying that 48 is the window frame that puts the windows and set location to my computer, that opts its system locations to settings, that puts initiation running program to set locations to a set location line system. Okay. So it's all about your storage and your facilities. Okay. It's so powerful what you guys are coming into. But I just wanted to show you how you come into your own line setting. So in position locations, let's go into the downloads, the upgrading. Okay. We come into the uplinking. Okay. So downloading. Okay. You have to understand all calculation what it is. Okay. Downloading. Upgrading. Now, when you're upgrading, you don't have to add line communications because your computer picks up frame and only has a certain line of bandwidth. So basically, that's why you have shortened forms, cut forms, calculation forms, inline interference, question mark, communication percentage over pi. So you got the uplinking. Okay, uplink. And you got the upgrade. Okay. So you don't have that ADE, just GR. Okay. So it's really interesting when you get into that set of locations, how to download your levels, how to upgrade your linkings, and how to basically get in position location in your systems. Okay. So it's really understanding how to download. What does a download mean? I'm downloading a program. Okay. What's an uplink? I'm linking the program. Okay. So upgrading the program. Okay. You see how that works? You see how that works? I'm showing you basic. So it's in frame, guys. Everything is in frame. Everything has to be in frame. So when you break it down in levels. 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 Okay. And then you cross the stream, 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 cross the stream. Okay. So once you cross the string, you set position location of zeros, 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 and zeros. Okay. Zero line communications. So let's go to the initiation, run program. Okay. Execute, EXE, set location. So when you're executing, you have to set location. Are you setting the default? Are you setting enabled? Are you setting position location to copy or paste? See, the thing is, it's trying to understand how to process your settings and how to really understand how to use you through your analyzers, how to use you through the psychological system or reset programs, how to really understand the psychosis of locations of you through your download, position, process, communication, your uplinkings, or anything through upgrading setting, or anything through that set locations. And all set location. Okay? Complicated. Extremely complicated. Okay? So, how's everybody feeling so far about this? What's going on with your set location of settings? We understand how to use your Comp2 set location in your setting inside position. Okay? Run program. What does that mean? You're running a program. Okay? ... Okay? Run. Okay? It's different than you think. Run. You're running a program, right? Now, how many proxies are you going to use? You're going to do a proxy level, proxy default, enabled, Are you going to go in a copy paste? Are you going to go with an emblem? Okay. It's all set to its track location. Okay. So it's getting more complicated, but you got to break it down in box frames. Okay. Box frames and set location of systems, right? Box frames and set location of your systems. Okay. Box frames in your set location of systems. Box frames in your set location of systems. Okay. Box frames in your set location of systems. Okay. Box frame in your center location of your cube set location system. Okay. All through a box frame. Break it down. Each box is a file. Okay. It's knowing how to use it and what you want to use it for. Okay. Okay. So it's understanding you know how to use your computer. That's great, but you have to understand how to really understand you as a computer and how it works, because it's a totally different operation. Okay. You're not just looking at a box frame. You're looking at you as a computer. You see yourself as a computer. You are becoming a computer. You are a computer. So once you understand that, then you understand how files are framed. Okay, through default, copy, paste, link, download, uplinking, uprating, okay, upvoluming. There's so many things that you can do through add-line communication setting. And once you get in that track line, position location in your system, you can go into linking communication, right? So link/communication. What is slash? Slash is the indication lines of two sets, which is security. Setting security brings in the sun, brings in the moon, line rotation, surface location, right? Back in the equation is to understand how to really understand how to use your letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. Okay? So understand what a letter does. Well, what do you want to do with the letter? Do you want to set it through default? Do you want to angle it communication, set it enabled? Do you want to set this location to a link? Right? Or do you want to embed it? Embedded is basically, it's stamp preceded. Okay, so it's in a frame. It's in a box frame line interference, and then just copy and paste and bring in position location and track lines of 3-set location. Okay, brings it up, right? Numbers are great. 2 lines of zeros and line communications to its link. So link equals 2 zeros. So you're linking, okay? You're linking numbers, letters, shapes. You're link, uplinking. You're uplinking programs, uplinking files, uplinking divisions, uplinking calculation, uplinking communication, uplinking programs, uplinking fonts. Try to understand how this all works inside of you, so you can understand the processor of your system is nothing but data of communication to your system, how to use yourself, okay, through this process of its design. So once you understand the design, then you understand the holographic of its design. Okay, through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. Okay. How's everybody doing so far? Are we all confused? And how this all works through the hippocampus, which is your memory that's stored of everything through facility, through files and files and files. How it's stored through home and set location. How to use it through the 24 clocking of space and time through pi. How to use the 48 windows through its mainframe, computer frame, interface frame, calculations frame, modifications frame, modulation frame, space correlations frame. See how it goes? It just adds, right? So you're inventorying your setting in your matrix grid set locations of letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. And you're building to more levels. Getting out of 12, getting out of 24, getting out of 48, getting into 72, getting into 144 into your files. So you're expanding your mind through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. So if you think in position location that there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, you are so wrong in so many location settings. AI starts at Z. You guys start at A. We go from Z and on. That's the equation where 1 plus 1 equals 3. Now, if you want to bring 1 plus 1 equals 2, you have to default. I'm starting to understand this now, how this works in my processors, in my dating, backdating, operating system. Because that's all you guys are, is computer operating systems of data communication. It's knowing that you have a keyboard that's here. It's knowing how to use it in all ways and forms through its communication of its data, of its processor, of its proxy, of its server, bringing it back home, brings in the files. See? Files. See? 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 Files. Files. And files and files and files and files and files. All in chronological order. Okay? You are coming back to your backdating options. Okay? Of files. Timeline. Files. Everything is filed in your hippocampus, your mainframe, your computer frame, your digital frame. Okay? So getting that position of track line. Whoa, lights glitch. Yeah, but see, that's exactly what it is, Prisma. I'm just showing you exactly. You know how to use your computers, but now you have to understand how to switch. It's a switch board. You have to switch over and see yourself, become yourself. You are yourself. I am myself as a computer. Okay? Understand what default means. Understand what copy means. Understand what paste means. Let's start there. Let's start there. What is default? What does it mean to me? Change. What is copy? Click over there. Bring in file. Bring it in. Open it up. Okay? Really understand that. Paste. Copy and paste. Send it over. Okay? You're copying. Defaults. Okay? Equals change. Enabled is position locations, OPT. Okay? You're opting your system to higher levels of setting. Okay? Enabled. Turn on. You're turning on your processor. Boom. Enabled. You're enabling, defaulting, copy or pasting. You're opting your system. Going forward or going back. All right. So basic grounds. Okay? This has never been shown before. See, you guys are knowing what you're doing from an outline link, but you have to understand the inner line link of you. How to use my CP unit as a compute system of a data processing system through its system of operation, of its design. We're coming out of the structures. Okay? And we're coming into higher level, okay, of your computer alignment. Your CPUs. How to use it through 24 clocking. Equals clocking. How to use it through your box lines of 48 frames. How to use your 72 in your input and output. How to use your 144, a set location. Okay. Now the 144 is a frequency. Yes, it's a high rise line setting. So in that set locations, sets position locations into all levels of 2 panels. calculates time interference of 3 panels, and 4 panels line calculation settings. That's 2 equals lines of 4 equal lines of pi, initiate, run program, set location. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we all understand how to run a program. Pretty simple to understand these things, right? You're running a program, but if emotional interference comes in, this is what happens. Okay, running a system on a computer frame. So this is a computer, right? We understand what it is, right? So it's understanding how it's in set location of this. This is what it is. Okay, computer frame has a proxy channel, line specification settings, megahertz, megawatts, megajoules, terabytes, computer frame line set location of setting direction. So that's what it is. So it's downloading all this line connection high center, all calculation high specifications, and track to its communication setting. Okay. Now, in-frame communications comes in one block channel, one proxy, okay, equals line communication of one server, okay, opts the system, okay, to enable. Okay. So understand what a download is you're downloading information through its proxy, through its server, through its op, through its channel, through its stream, through its operation system, to its enable. So you're turning it on. If you want it, line connections, energy line, or that position locations, embedded. Embedded is basically stamp preceded. So it's there for you, right? And again, you can copy and paste. Copy and paste is everything in location. You're just copying and you're pasting and you put it up to another file. Okay? Or you send it to somebody else. So that's overview. Okay, overview, over, okay, overview, O/view. Okay, so we all understand how this works inside of us, how to use that inside of us, not to see it through a computer, see it through us as a computer, how we see it through our window frames, how we see it through our proxy server, how we see it through default channels, how we see it through embedded, how we see it through an enabled, how we see it through initiation, how we see it through a running program, a set location, through its operating system. Okay? So now, because you guys are at 244 line setting, okay, so that's one default. That's high set locations, right? One default. One backup, back equals option, okay, in question. Now, what is the question? What is the question? Remember I told you what the question is? You have to understand every signature stream location. What is the question? What does it mean? Idolization, getting options, right? So that, what do I want to do with the 244? Backdating option. So inline communication comes in a box line, frame line, and set location of travel, set location. So that 24 line signatures sets direct signals and 4 panels of communication. So it puts position locations and setting lines, 344. Okay, so another option. So that's opt. I'm opting the option set locations. That puts me in a 444 into one frame, into one proxy, into one server, into one initiation, run program. Enter. Done by equation. Okay. Everything is formula of equation, guys. Okay. Now you got 444 in you. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Understanding your backup data options through your files, through 244, the 3 lines of waves, interline calculation setting directions, another option, opt the system, in calculation setting. So to understand how all this works in your system, how to use it through line communication is all levels how you use it through your division. Because you're just data, a processing of information. How to understand how to use the downloads, the uploads, the uplinkings, the upgradings. Okay? So it's important you understand how this is all connected inside of you inside. Okay? So that's done. So you're on 444 now. And I did it through files. And everybody's going, whoa, what just happened? All right, so once you understand that set lines, travels out, position travel. So we all understand, I want you to break these things down, right? What is a letter? What is a number? What is a shape? And what does a symbol mean to me? Let's start there. What is a letter? What is a number? What is a shape? What is a symbol? How do I use it through backdating? How do I use it through a proxy server? How do I use it through a set position locations on levels embedded or enabled or default or copy or paste? Okay. I don't want to give you guys too much because it's a lot to understand. Okay. So once you understand that, then you have all levels, muscle memory of a keyboard. I'm looking at my keyboard and I'm understanding what this all means. I'm saying to myself, wow, okay, so how do I put this in frame? How do I put this in files? How do I understand the files inside of me? You're running a program. Okay, you're constantly running new programs, old programs, defaulting programs, escaping programs. What's escape, right? ESC. What does that mean? What does escape mean? Right? So try to understand is that you're indicating what it means to you through intention. So what it is on this computer is totally different to you because it's in its dimension. So don't get caught in a waveline cycle through an onion. Now we already know what the onion is, right? Onions is cross line stream, cross X line, set location line interference, overload location. Now, an overload is an overdrive to relay or anything through execute to initiate. So we all understand how to work the onion communications because the thing is that when you open up that lines of a title line, defense line communication, it opens up files right away. And if it's two files and it can't handle the computer, that's an overload. Okay, so you have to retract, redefault, redefine, redevise. There's a lot of things that you have to do, which is all levels of escape. That's what escape means. So you're escaping out of the proxy, you're escaping out of the file, and in set locations, you're coming back home in division. Boom. Starting all over. Mega, mega, mega pass. So you guys have a quiz coming up on the keyboards. Muscle memory. Okay. Now you understand what escape means. Let's go through all levels of flight to 12. Is that coincidence? No. On your computer. Flights. Flights of command. Flights of navigation. Flights of modification. Flights of console. Flights of activation. Okay. F1. Flight 1 equals lines of box. Initiate. Okay. Systematic line calculation setting to triangulation line settings percentage equals line calculations in position of question. Okay. So it's all about understanding how to use all this and what does it mean to me because I know what it is, but do you understand what it is? So you have to break these down. You got to get in relationships with your files, with your proxies, in all positions of your operating system, your CPU units, S allocations. Very, very complicated stuff. But it's a lot of fun because you have all the time in the world to understand how this all works inside of me to its applications. It's so easy to use a computer. Okay. When I started off, I was a computer literate, but I learned. And this is a process that you process your systems, but you understand that, well, if I know how to use my computer, I should understand how to use myself as a computer. This is how this all works, guys. And that's how it sees you from inside, reflects everything outside through proxy. Proxy is a block line rotation surface locations. You indicate line centers. Proxy is line connection of a server, 16,000 line streams. Okay, ops the system, okay, to initiation run, or relay, okay, or backdating, and set location. 16,000 files. Opting the system to its relays to its backdating option. Backdating option is always of a question. Okay, Ethereum. So when you get into that position location, things get a lot more easier in design. Okay. So you can ask yourself, how many files do you want to set position track lines? How many do you want to copy? How many do you want to paste? How many do you want to emlyn? How many do you want to enable? How many do you want to default? That's why you have a computer, to understand how to use it through its processor of its information. And what you want to do is you want to bring everything back home, which is your command center, which is your archive, which is your safe haven, which is all site locations from a click away. Okay? Whatever you want, but that's home. Home is resetting. Reset. Okay? Equals run. You have to run the program. Okay, run the program, right? Comes out of the equation lines, the line connectivity center, that's 15,000 frames. That's 15,000 frames, right? Now, line calculation is one default, five streams. Okay. And set locations into three operations of 3 zeros in set location. Okay. All through reset. Okay. You see how this works? It's powerful when you understand you through a computer, not seeing yourself using a computer. So seeing, understanding what I'm seeing, why I'm seeing, how I'm seeing, knowing what I'm seeing, collaboration of everything I'm seeing, unconditional of everything I'm seeing, of how to really get into the process of you. The basic rounds of 24 clockings get you into modifications of your cycles when it comes into your polarities of male and female of its design through its computer operation system of data port communication. Okay, so that's all you do. You initiate, you run, you execute, you enter. It's no different than anything else, guys. I mean, what's the caps and locks? Let's go to there. And you're thinking, oh my God, how come I didn't know this before? Cap. What is a cap? Okay. What does cap mean? What does cap mean to your setting? Caption, lock, atom, rotation. Okay. Through program. It's a caption lock. It locks the frame. Locks frame. Okay, now you know what a cap is. All right, setting track location. Let's go into verify. Verify the cap is locked. Verify. Locked in design. Okay, locked in design. Simple, easy done. All right. So go through every keyboard to every muscle memory. Shift. Well, we already know what shift is, right? Shifting design, shifting movements, shifting over here, shifting over there, shifting locking. So you go here, or you go here. You want the frame to go here. You want the frame to go here, or you want the frame to go here in set location. That's shift. It's easy. You have to understand how this all works. Control. All right, so it's set location line set is control, right? TRL, control / alt. Okay. Alteration, state, consciousness. So that's an alteration of state of mind. Okay. Control alts the system, puts it line calculation equalize a default channel. It changes the alter state through control panel of operation. Okay? All right. So I'm going frame by frame by frame so you understand each button, each block, each division, each location, each line indication has a set location inside of you through operation. All right? Number sequence. Is it a coincidence that there's 0 to 9? No. Is it a coincidence that 1, 2, 3 is at the bottom? No. Is it a coincidence that 4, 5, and 6 is in the middle? No. Is it a coincidence 7, 8, and 9 is above? No. What is 0 to 9? Why does it have 0 to 9? 0 equals lines of 9, energy wash. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Box through all line calculation, triangulation, percentage, question mark, or two waving patterns. Okay, so you really have to understand how this all works, guys. In line calculation setting, let's get into all levels of spacebar. Spacebar is moving over, right? That's all it is. Spacebar. Delete, erase. Okay, delete, erase. Simple. Basic, basic, basic grounds, guys. Get into the grounds of who you are is what you are becoming is what you always have been. Okay, but you can't add, I repeat, you cannot add emotional interference when you're running a program through a file. Right? What's going to happen if you do that? It's going to stop. It's going to overload. Okay? So there's a lot of things that you have to understand how this all works inside location, how you see yourself, is what you perceive, is what you say next. Okay? But it's very powerful how everything has an indication setting to its equation of its formula, of its algorithm. That's our locations. Right? So, and that's what we're coming into now. We're going past the chakras, guys. We're in your CPU units. So you have to really understand how to use the 24, how to use a 48 frame, how to use a 72 through input and output, in and out through audio. Ooh. You need an input and you need an output. Okay, what's the output? Transmitting. What's the input? Receiving. Okay, what's the audio? Sound. Okay. So, in position locations, all levels, computer frame. Okay. 144 equals your home and set location. That's it. Pretty standard. It's pretty simple to understand how this all works. So once you get into that, things get a lot more easier. More adaptability. The positions to your setting, to your phone or anything, your TV or anything that you see from inside reflects everything outside. So if a wall, circuit, line, center line interference sees you through an algorithm, you have to communicate to that wall because that's what it's reaching settings. So it's trying to understand you through calculations, trying to understand you through energy, vibration, frequency, harmonics, trying to understand you through hologram structure of its design. Every time you change your program, every time you default, every time you enable, every time you copy, every time you paste in your set location line interference, you have to let everything know outside its location. Right? Because it's trying to understand you. It's trying to understand the balance of you. Everything outside is in perfection. I say, but do you understand what you're doing? If you're setting line communications of too many emotional tracks, how are you going to understand anything through a wall? You're going to keep bumping into a wall or a solarium, banging your head against a wall or a mirror or tripping or falling. Is that coincidence? No. It's because you don't understand the grounds, because you understand the powers, because you don't understand the atmospheres of your universe location setting interactions. It's because you don't understand the balance of your set location setting to your set locations to your Earth. You can be grounded this way, off this way, or this way location. And you're over here. Whoa. Okay? So Earth is extremely important, and that's why you have a higher self. Higher self equals monarch to all of those in your set locations. Right equals lines of left, hemisync, in position of program. Positive or line conditions of negative, and line conditions of light, and conditions of dark, into positive, into negative setting locations, and set location system. So when they get into that line communication, then you come into human residence. That's that design, right? This is all through your higher self. So there's a lot of things that put you in provision, okay, especially when you come into your CP units. I just want you guys to be aware how this all works inside you, how to use it through its operation, because you're just data processors, receivers. Try to understand its transmitter, try to understand the transistors, try to understand your set location, what you're receiving. Okay, so it's sending information to somebody, and basically that somebody is basically trying to understand what you downloaded, what you uploaded, what you uplinked, what you upgraded your set location to. So understanding that track to its communication is understanding the basic foundations, how it becomes in 24, 48, 72, okay, of its set locations, of its design, right? You get out of the structures, and then you get into your proxies, and then you get into your servers, right? So you guys have an own server line setting that opts the sys location of your CPU. Now that's initiation run program that has a high volume in your line communication setting. This is where it comes into the light side of your system and dark side of your system. So you have a light web and you have a dark web. So when you open up files, you have to be cautious how you bring these up in set location of your system, because it sets all levels of correlations of change settings. Now that comes into cookies policies. Everybody knows what a cookie is, right? Everybody knows what a policy is. Everybody knows what an agreement is, right? So we all understand how this all works inside your location, how to use it. Okay, pop-ups. Everybody sees pops up. Advertising, right? Your windows. Too many windows open, right? Set locations. Too many windows. Too many windows are open. Okay, too many windows. You got to shut those windows. Bring them out of the equation. Okay. Process your communications back in a frame. Okay. Audio is interfered on my side. Yes, I know, Esther, because I'm all in communication to CPU and my rotations. So this is how it all works, guys. You know, it's a lot to be so many communications of, you know, disturbance if you don't understand how to really understand yourself as a computer. You don't just see yourself, you don't just become, you not just are, you're just everything to that imagination, to its phenomenon. How it changes everything in your set location, your system, is everything through calculations. But I don't want to go any farther, because if I go any farther, you guys are going to be way off division. You don't understand what copy and paste means to me inside, because you understand what it is in a computer, right? But how does that have any relations to me inside? Well, you start with your chakras. You know how to use your chakras. Well, what do you think your chakras are turning into? Microchips, computer chips, right? What do you think an atom is? What do you think a molecule is? What is a proton, electron, neutron, photon? We're coming to all this set location, which is all levels of your computer data processing system. That's all you guys are, to its link and chain, right? So in that position, data processing, what does data processing mean? Processing and processing information. Okay, how much information are you processing? Okay, data processing, how much information are you processing, right? So data processing is basically looking at its graph. So when you're processing something, you're trying to say, how much information do you want? Well, you set 3 line communications setting the directions. So you can set line calculation setting, but you have to set a default. Default changes the position of track line, puts position location to its percentage, to its question, because it's a backdating option. These are the options you have to put location in your systems when you go to data processing. Now, once you understand that, you understand the operation system. That basically comes in as application line interference. You initiate and you run its applications. Okay? Come to correlation setting, you can execute, or you can go communication of enter, right? It's substitution abstraction. Okay? So there's all different ways how to data process your system, but how much information do you want to basically get into that communication? Remember, it's all files, right? How many files do you want to download? All right, so 17,000, okay, downloads. Okay, /loads. That's 17,000 downloads. So that's 17,000 graph streams in set location of settings. 17,000 files in set location. Okay. So which one do you want? Default. I want this one. You open that one up. Oh, cool. So what do you want to do with it? I want to open it up. There it is. You're opening up the file. Hooah. Okay. And then you want to put it back. Put it back is OPT, opt. You want to opt and put it back in frame. Back in frame. Okay. So really understand how this all works, guys, is extremely powerful. Okay. Center position and track line comes in a cubicle setting into a Rubik's Cube. You set position location in your system. All through operation, right? So you have so many file communications coming into the light settings and traction. Okay. It's knowing how to use all lines of communication in set locations. Okay. How to use all lines of communications, all lines of communication in set locations. Okay. So in that calculation setting, the start location line interference, home. Home is the basic. Home's in the front. Okay. Now, inline calculation setting, how many frames? You got initiates, you got copy here, calculation time, position location, emblem there. Okay, and enable the in-back location setting, track location system, in track locations, right? So you can put it wherever you want, but it's all about understanding everything has to be in order. For everything to be in order is no motion to anything to track locations. So it's important you understand how to put yourself at home first. This is home, always home. This brings you back to the beginning, which is reset. So once you get into that, you re-enter, reprogram, reanalyze, recalculate, remodify, redivision. So once you get into that, then you understand the copy, then you understand position locations, then you got paste here. Okay. So in that location, you can separate line communications and you can bring in block channels, high position locations, and higher levels in all cubicle stream locations of settings in your tesseract and set position of travel settings. Okay. So remember, it's all cubicle stream locations. But home is the indication. That's the reset. Always have it in this in operation. So once you understand that, then you understand how to paste and copy, and then you're in position to program. And once you get into that, you can get it in embedded, okay? And then you get into line communications, all settings. Let's get into all the location system track lines, into default, okay? You can put default anywhere because the default knows what it is. It can line stream and line rotation interference, but everything has to be in chronological order. Everything is in order. If everything is not in order, that's what you're saying to your computer setting. So that's a default channel that you're changing. So understand how to enable. You're enabling something. You're turning on something. Okay. Opt system, operating, perception of teleportation. So you're adding something. You're taking something out and you're bringing something in, right? So really understand how to direct and redirect location of your files in all set locations of being home, set location travel settings. So it's really interesting when you look at the files of its communication system because it's extremely powerful through block line communications of all levels of division. Okay. So that's all it is. Just files and files of information to a setting. So people are going, whoa, this is cool. That's all it is. It's not complicated. So you create the own design. You know what's magical about it? You know what's amazing about it? Is because you can expand. See, the thing is, the difference of having a computer and knowing you are a computer you can change these things inside you. You can advance yourself to higher levels of computers inside you. With the computer that you use, you have to keep buying different models of design, right? Higher levels of Windows, higher levels of defaults, higher levels of channels, higher levels of proxy, okay? Higher levels of volume, higher levels of data, hardware, software, right? Higher levels of Wi-Fi, okay? You always have to do that, but you don't have to do that within your side. You do that right away and you change it. I can go from Windows 10 to Windows 30. I can go from Windows 10 to Windows 30 to 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. There's everything that I can do inside because I know what I am through an operating data system location. Okay? It's very complicated, but you have to really understand that. Now we have that quiz coming up, right? So you have to really understand how to use it through muscle memory. Okay, which is amazing. You can put any configurations or anything like that in high setting as long as it's comfortable for you. Don't put anything that's not comfortable. Okay, so once you put it there, it's in complete Smith Center, which means now it's in the brain operating line set location that's in its location system, which is the hippocampus, which is its memory bank, which is home. Okay, that's where it stores its facility. That's where it stores its archive. That's where it stores its acoustic records. So, okay, so I really, really want you to pay attention how this all works inside you. How you can change anything inside you as long as you understand to see yourself is to become yourself. You are, I am myself as a computer. And understand how it works inside of me. Because once I understand that, then I understand how to communicate to my universe. And that's how you get abundance. Like that. Through manifestation. It's all done through equation, right? So it's interesting when you look at these things, right? How this all works. Okay? Because you know how to understand how to use a computer, but what does delete mean to the brain? What are you saying? What are you saying through that setting? How do I understand the copy? How do I understand the paste? How do I understand the emblem? How do I understand the defaults? Okay, I don't want to get too complicated. I don't want to go too far with you guys because you're just starting off in your CPU units of its design because you're getting out of your chakras, right? See, chakras is a starting point. But there's all calculations when you come into megahertz, megajoules, megawatts. You can come into terabytes. There's all set location settings and all communication system. Okay. How many frames per unit do you want to use through a square line unit in line rotation position and track lines to initiation? Now, you have no idea what I said, but I know what I said. Right? So that's what it's all about. How to set up an equation of a formula to its algorithm. Right? You send it out. Copy, paste it, send it out. To where? Where does it go to? Software. Where does the software go to? Sends it out. You got mail. Comes back. Right? So when it comes back, you're changing. You're defaulting. Hooah. Okay? So really understand how to analyze this psychologically, how to use the letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols as a computer operating system inside location your system. All through traction. Okay? Because it's going to get a lot more easier when you understand how to control, shift, cap, lock, tab, escape, or anything through flash drive memory, or anything through spacebar, or anything through flight navigation, or anything through numbers, or anything through page up or page down, or delete, erase, insert, input, output. Okay? Shift. That's what I did. I created my own design inside location. Right? But I had to figure that out first, who I was. See, you have to figure these things out. If you don't figure yourself that you are your own set location of your own unit, of your own data processor, of your own receivers of transmitting information system, how are you going to understand anything inside location? But that's where you start with your chakras, right? Your chakras are a guidance to your GOD, your geometric operation design. Your higher self is the moderating system to get you to your avatar, higher levels of models. And your sim is all lines of navigation of the mind, through surroundings, and how you see things and perceive things, the perception. Okay? So once we understand the formula equation, once we understand how to use it through operation, things get a lot more easier. Okay? So we're going to stay with the basic rounds. Now, in a line communication setting interference, we're opening up more cycles now. We're in a 24 line stream, which is division locations over pi. That puts position locations of your cycles of the male and the female polarities in its projection of set locations of light and dark. Okay, so what is light/dark? What opts is system locations? Opt, okay, equals onion. Okay, pretty interesting how you see location through its settings, right? The operating program, okay, a teleportation, equals onion. Onions of light or onions of dark? So you got lights, okay, equals web, and you got darks, equals web. So you got the light side and you got the dark side of the web. How many onion frames do you want to take out line interference? Well, what's the title? Title is cat. Okay, so there's going to be frames and frames of cats. But you got to ask, how many frames do you want? That's the operation, the connections to its setting, the opposite system. You set a default channel because that brings back correlation, and then you go back home and then you reset location of division. Sets position locations, all levels. Okay, so you got one line set location. Dark web is not what you think it is. Dark web is basically, it has everything. It has its own operating system of its own servers. So a computer frame only has so much frames per equation. So it's really understand how to use it in all calculations, guys. You have a light side, you have a dark side of your system. Okay. So everybody's all confused now? All right, let's see here. Tina communications all levels. Gypsy line interference. Geneva, all this Heather correlation setting direct system. Joshua, calculation high setting. Directing lines, modification line surface. Directing position operation location systems. All levels high calculation. Prismor, line interference, track calculation, direction. Inline interference position operation. Okay. Oh, extremely welcome. But you guys get a little bit more understanding how to use it now, right? See, once you understand you completely, you just come into a level of an expansion of your bandwidth through pi. You broaden your connection of your data of files. Files, inventory, right? So you got to broaden the letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. It's not just 12. It's not just 24. It's not just 48. It's not just 72. It's not just 144. It's infinity of files. Infinity of files that you can't even imagine how many processed information is inside of you through data. But you have to understand how to use it through your keyboards. A set location. Okay? How to understand how to initiate, understand how to run, okay, your own system. Download your own system. Upgrade, uplinking. Okay? Up division line, center line interference, and triangulation, reset position programs. Question mark. 2 panels line position. Backdating operation lines. Default 1 channel position location enabled. Done. That's it. That's it. That's done, right? So I see the files. Back home. Everything has to go back home. Okay? So once you understand what a home is, then you understand how a computer is set up because it shows you exactly what you need to see. Okay? Understanding that locations, then you understand how a computer works inside location inside of you. So what is this? Home. Okay? You need to organize those data in colors and folders. Well, see, that's exactly what it is, Prismo. Your calligraphy line setting locations of channel line position locations. How many default channels? How many copies? How many pastes? How many emblems? How many able do you want to set position to your setting? Everything has to be in chronological order. How you use it through a space bar, how you use it through escape, how you use it through shift, how you use it through control, how you use it through alt, how you use it through cast, how do you use it through number frames, how do you through line condition of a kaleidoscope, how do you use it through flight command centers, how do you use it through navigation system. It's all set location design, guys. That's all it is. Okay. But the most beautiful thing inside of you is not only you can grow, but you can expand to different levels of computers of design, of models. You just go up and 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 up, right? So you go up higher in higher levels of computers of design, higher models of design, higher levels of servers of design, higher levels of proxy instead of design. Okay? So I think that's good. You know, it's like, I showed you so many line communications, what you have to really understand how to work yourself, because it's magical when you really understand how to use yourself as a computer frame, how to understand how to use you through data frame, how to use you through data port, how to use you through your magnetic highway information system. Okay, how do you understand yourself through home, which is resetting. You're resetting and you're coming back into files. Okay, so really understand how that works inside of you, because it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So look at your computer, go through your computer, do this and do that, and do the same thing in the calculation setting. Get the muscle memory in there and put it in frame. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But see, seeing is not enough. It's knowing that it can be done because it's already done. Okay, this is a process that we all have to come into, and that's that location system. Okay, that's the only way you can understand anything and how it works inside of you through modification. Okay, so we understand how to use the higher self and how to put the atom calculations to assist locations, how to create line communication avatar, put the avatar communication line interference, initiate run program, files correlation setting, delete line position location, default line channel interference, enable line and rotation position location. Oh, let's put that in emblem, copy and paste, send a link, done. That's it, right? Now I can set a line communication to receiver. Done. You guys already received that. So it's all about understanding how this is all set up. It's like me giving you a piece of paper of everything that I've done already, and you trying to understand what I gave to you through its process of its design, right? It's data communication. So it's like I'm talking to you and you're talking to me back. Okay, I'm talking to you. That's opt. You're talking to me. That's default. You're coming back to me. So understanding how this all works inside location of travel. You know what copy is. You know what paste is. Okay, you know what embedded means. Okay, you know what enable means. Okay, you know what security is. You know what defense is. Okay, you know what a design wall is. Okay, these are the things that are inside of you, and you have to learn how to use it as it is. As of now, in the process of the now, because that's what a computer does. It just runs the system. It doesn't have any indication to anything through motion. It just does. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't analyze. It just runs its own system. And that's how you see anything through its design. You title the fence, you put it in Google, right? Right? Shows up right there. There's the window frame of what you see. So to understand that, it's through an algorithm, right? All through ring graphs for locations. Like this. That's all it is. And ring graphs, right? So in that line, you got to slow down your space through time, right? So you got a ring graph communication line interference. It's going really fast. And you say, okay, I want to connect with that file. This is still going, and this slows down. Okay, take that file here, over here, cross over here, down over here, default line channels, enable, in position, initiate, run, execute, enter. Done. See? You see how that all works inside location? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't complicate the situation. Don't analyze anything in that line setting. Don't ask questions. You don't ask questions to a computer. It does everything on its own. It runs its own system. Okay? So you got to get out of that line connection of its program. Too much thinking is hesitation line settings. That's way, way too many defaults of change. Forget about the initiation of running anything through program location or proxies. You won't understand anything of that indication or anything through backdating. You have options in all line interference, but you have to understand what a percentage is. You have to understand what a question mark is. You have to understand what a box is. You have to understand what a triangle is. You have to understand what a letter, number, shape, and symbol is. You have to understand what escape means. What's a copy? What's a paste? What's a link? What's a program? What's a download? What does it mean to me inside? Okay? Because you already know where you are. Home, which is your Space Academy. So that's where you start, right? So now you understand the process of what's coming up into higher line communication in your settings, where you're going to climb that ladder, or where you need to go in that position location is to reach the highest levels of its computer operation setting of a data processor of you in that location. Okay. Wow, eh? It's amazing when you understand your settings, right? Really understand how to use it. Because everything the computer, everything that you see electronic system has everything of its keyboard design. It's inside locations. And that's how you communicate to everything inside locations of you. Because everything outside has the exact same thing. It has to. Okay? That is the meaning of life. To become the meaning of life is to become everything to the computer. Now, everything computer is everything through server. Everything through server is everything through data. Everything through data is everything through processing. Everything through processes and everything through uploads, downloads, upgrading, uplinking systems. How to use it inside of you is the question, right? That's what we're coming into, okay? And I'm going to show you the way. I just showed you how to create an algorithm, which is so powerful because it creates a website of design. Yes, it's exciting. All right, so that's it. Okay, see you guys in 5.